Okay guys, well this is kind of lame. I just got back from the dollar store and I was like, okay, today I'm going to do a dollar store haul with like cute little decorations and stuff. But then I went and all of it was pretty tacky. Now there's nothing wrong with a little bit of tacky, but it's like a lot of tacky. So my big dollar store haul, my holiday haul that I was so excited for is lame. So I got bread, 2 loaves of bread. One for the freezer, one not. I got socks. I got ankle socks because all of my socks are so short and the back of my ankles always get eviscerated whenever I wear my dogs. So I got those so that it will stop hurting. As it was, I wore my docs with the really low rise socks there, and so the back of my ankle hurts horribly. And then for my actual holiday haul, I got kitchen towels. These are cute, made with love, gingerbread bakery. There's just that one, and then the other one's just a plain white one. These were $3. And then the one other thing I got is a cute little, okay, you can't really see with all the glare, but it's just a little gingerbread man mug. This was $5. And they had other stuff. They had all sorts of signs and baubles, little ornaments, and all sorts of things, but everything was just like not quite what I was going for. And because I don't have a tree anyway, I can't really do anything with the ornaments. They have trees. No way am I gonna buy a tree from the dollar store though. They had lights. I almost got lights too, but I feel like I could get a much better deal. For being a dollar store and for being notoriously cheap, it can get pretty expensive. So my Christmas decoration stuff, $8. The socks, $8.50. And then I don't remember how much the bread was. I'm sure you really care about the bread. Anyway, this was all $25. That's not, this was supposed to be like, woo, holiday haul, vlogmas day 3, woo. But yeah. My mom is visiting and I don't want her to hear me recording myself. So this is gonna be ASMR for this section. Oh, I'm making oatmeal raisin cookies. Alright guys, update. I don't have any softened butter and my house is not really that warm, so I don't know how much is going to soften if I leave it out, but I put it by the window where there's sun, so maybe that'll help, but hopefully that won't melt it. This is probably going to be put on pause for a little while. Also, you may have noticed that I only used one kind of sugar. That's because I don't have any brown sugar. I don't typically buy brown sugar, but I usually have molasses. Because if you mix up molasses and regular sugar, then that makes brown sugar. But I don't have any molasses, so it's just sugar. It is what it is. But yeah, I found this recipe online. It seemed to be the highest rated with the most ratings. It's from food.com. Oatmeal raisin cookies recipe submitted by Bev I Am. It says it yields 36 cookies. Hopefully these come out okay. I have work this afternoon, but that's not for 2 or 3 hours. So hopefully this butter doesn't take hours to soften because I want to have this done before I leave. But yeah, this is really thrilling content. You're so welcome. I wanted to make sugar cookies, but you see, what happened is this. I made a list of all of the things I was going to look for at the dollar store, and I never looked at my list once. I was going to look for powdered sugar. I was going to look for cookie cutters. I was even going to look for food coloring. I don't know that the dollar store would have any of this kind of stuff. Really don't know because I didn't look. But yeah, the reason I shop at the dollar store is because I live in the middle of nowhere, and that's literally the only store they have. There's one grocery store, but it's very small and it's very expensive. But it's good food. It's all like organic and non-GMO and all that kind of stuff. So it's good food, but it's pricey. And it's not like I'm broke. I'm just cheap. So no cutesy sugar cookies shaped like Christmas tree and snowman, which was what I was hoping for. Also, I just moved here a couple months ago and I had a box of stuff. I had all these Halloween cookie cutters. I don't know where that box went. So fall Anyways, I'm a hater. I always thought the show was bad, but I still watched it because everybody watched it and everyone talked about it and I wanted to know what was going on. I watched it and it was horrible. Okay, maybe horrible is a bit mean, but it's just not that great. I watched the first season and then I watched the second season, but I binged both of those seasons at 2 separate times so quickly that I didn't hardly retain anything. So when I was watching the third season this summer, it was like I had never ever seen season 2 in my life. But then season 3, because they were releasing it a week at a time. I don't know, maybe they did that with the other seasons, but I binged them. They were already out by the time I watched the first 2. So I tuned in and I watched The Summer I Turned Pretty season 3 every week. Okay, tell me why that season was so long. It did not need to be as long as it was. Now, there were complaints. I saw people were tired of hearing about, like, Lucinda. I didn't mind that. I like Taylor. I didn't like Taylor the first season, but I really came around to her in the second season. I just really liked her, even though I didn't agree with, like, most of her thinking. I didn't agree with anyone. Belly. Oh my god, Belly was so annoying. I feel like everyone always complained about Belly. I was never bothered in season 1 and season 2, but season 3, my god. Like when Belly's screaming at her mom in the hallway, do you remember that? When Laurel finds out, I guess, about them getting, well, no spoilers, I guess. It was just way too long and way too boring. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. People are gonna hate me for this. Okay, I'm gonna say spoilers, so if you don't want to hear, skip to this timestamp. Everyone's like Team Conrad, Team Jeremiah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I read the first book. I did not like it. I don't like any of the characters. I did not like Conrad or Jeremiah. I do think the show was better than the book, though. At least the first season. I didn't read the other books. I couldn't bring myself to do that. But after reading the first book, I was like, girl, I don't ship anything here. Conrad was so obnoxious in the book. Show-wise, definitely Team Conrad. I'm so sorry to all the Team Jeremiah people. I'm sorry, but I would definitely be Team Conrad on the show. But after reading the first book, because I saw I think I read the book before I saw the show. I actually prefer Jeremiah in the first book because Conrad is too freaking whiny and weird, and he's like telling Belly what she can and can't do. I don't like that. I mean, I guess he did that a little bit in the show, but it was not as bad. Come along, season 2, I got the Conrad thing more. I was like, okay, yeah, Conrad, cool. And then moving into season 3, obviously you're like, well, it's supposed to be Conrad and Belly. Okay, again, I'm sorry if you're Team Jeremiah. You do you. Jeremiah needs to grow up, but also to the Team Jeremiah fans, Conrad also needs to get himself together because Conrad, all throughout season 3, like 4 years pass, all the time that Belly and Jeremiah are in college and in their little relationship and everything, Conrad is a freaking wreck, and it's like, that's because he's a yearner, and he's so in love with Belly, and he wants to be with Belly, and he can't because of his brother. Bro, move on. I mean, you can still have the yearning, but not be a total disaster. Get your bag, get your career in order, get your friends, and get yourself together, and still yearn. So obviously you see through season 3, you see Belly and Conrad and like all of whatever, that whole thing going on. And there was some juicy stuff. I loved some of that stuff, like on the beach, the confession, and you have Belly looking, oh, great. Phenomenal. And I did like the end when they get together. But God, I wish Conrad were just a little more like a grown person. Not just like this little sad boy. So I don't know, that might make people mad, but those are just my thoughts. Anyway, the reason I was even talking about this is because what happened is this. Of course, they do The Summer I Turned Pretty. They release it in the summer because it's summertime, but I can't remember the other seasons, but I know at least with this season, they had it going back to Christmas, and that made me in the summer be like, God, I wish it were Christmas right now. And because the show took so long to finish, it was going into what I would consider fall time, going into September. And so I just never really got into the fall thing. It was just kind of like a blah. Maybe it's not fair to blame it on The Summer I Turned Pretty, but it got me on that foot because September 1st for me, that's fall 1st. So my fall honoring started off wrong. Then I just never got it together, and unfortunately where I live in the mountains, and it is beautiful in the fall here, but it was warm for so long that the trees never got to be the pretty color. All the leaves, it was just pretty warm, and then it was very cold and all the leaves fell off the tree. It went from brown to bare. It was halfway through October when I was like, oh my God, I haven't done anything for spooky season either. I love me a horror movie. I love it spooky and all of that, and I didn't do anything in October. And then November, all of the trees were bare, and it just felt like winter. So I never got to like enjoy fall this year. But I have been hoping, I've been wanting it to be Christmas ever since whatever second episode that was of season 3 of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I was like, God, I wish it were Christmas. And now it's Vlogmas. I'm gonna check on my butter now. Actually, it's right behind you. Yeah, it's not warm or soft. I guess I'll catch you up more later. Hi guys, it's the end of the day and I'm exhausted. Sorry it's no longer ASMR. It's only 7:30, but I am pooped and I have nothing left in me. So, yeah, I hope you liked my summer I turned pretty rant. I did not finish the cookies because the butter is not soft. So I might figure out something to do to soften it tomorrow, and I'll finish the cookies tomorrow because I am just too tired to do it now. So stay tuned. It might actually be in 2 days from whenever this is because I've been combining 2 days into one video just because I hardly have anything to say. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Vlogmas, happy holidays, and I'll be seeing ya.